so happy. That was worse. Oh no, this is gonna be really hard. Oh my god. No.
This is me, realizing that I should have done some strength training before I showed up for my first day as an agave farmer. A few months ago, I heard that agave prices were crashing, which is strange because last I heard, tequila is booming. I went down a rabbit hole and learned that one main problem is that agave takes 6 years to grow, which means farmers aren't predicting next year's tequila demand. They're trying to predict demand 6 years in the future. So how does anyone do that successfully? I reached out to the oldest and largest tequila brand in the world to see for myself. Jose Cuervo let me go behind the scenes to do every step of the years-long process of making tequila myself, from harvesting in the field, to testing in the lab, to bottling, all in one very long day. It's time to talk about tequila. Making tequila starts in the agave fields. All tequila has to come from here, tequila. It has to be at least 51% blue agave, the best stuff, which is what I was harvesting today. We started with Toño, the head jimador, teaching how to cut and harvest a mature agave.
Hay muchas arañas.
¿Dónde?
Ahí, y ahí, y ahí.
Esas no hacen nada.
Vale.
Las sacas. Como tú eres derecha, tú lo vas a agarrar del otro lado. Mira. Que esta herramienta no pegue en el piso. Que si pega en el piso, pierde el filo. Mira. Sola, mira. Le dejas saber sola. Mira. ¿Sí?
Sí.
Mira. Esta mano.
Now it was my turn, and I was sure I'd be just as fast as Toño.
Oh no, this is gonna be really hard.
Es más acostadita, mira.
Sí.
Or maybe not. While I'm working, let's talk about the field I'm in. Cuervo alone has over 120,000 acres of agave in this region. They rent the land through long-term contracts, prep the soil, and then plant their hijuelos, the baby agaves. They're planted in the spring, before the rainy season, and then they don't ever need extra watering, just the rain. They grow for about 6 years before they're mature enough to harvest. During that time, they're monitored by drones and human technicians who visit about every 2 weeks to check for size, color, and pests. They track all of this very precisely, field by field, and you'll see why when we get to their lab. Toño is an iconic jimador at Cuervo, so I wanted to hear more of his story.
Soy la cuarta generación de jimadores en mi casa. Mi bisabuelo, mi abuelo, mi papá, yo. Puro Cuervo, siempre. Puro Cuervo, nada que otra empresa, nada. Y empecé a los 13 años.
¿13?
Años. Ahorita tengo 46 de edad, tengo 33 años de jimador. Me siento orgulloso que me toca trabajar para elaborar la bebida más, se puede decir, más rica del mundo.
I think at this point, Toño thought I was stupid, or that I must have missed something the first time he showed me, so he did another one to show me again. Unfortunately, my slow pace was less from lack of understanding and more from lack of muscle.
He makes it look really easy.
Si nos agarra la noche, en aquella troca hay casas de campaña para dormir, porque tenemos que completar el tequio que nos está pidiendo el ingeniero Cristóbal.
I see I have an audience.
Son puros chalanes que te quieren ayudar.
Encantada.
Para si caes desmayada, ellos te van a ayudar ahorita.
The peanut gallery was not helping, but I got back to work. At this point, my arms were so sore, my ego had kicked in, I just had to finish cutting this.
Ahí está bien.
¿Sí?
Listo. La orden.
Órale.
And the awesome part was, I hadn't even done the hard part of the job yet, which is cutting down the trunk of the agave. Typically, new guys on the job spend about 10 months doing the easy part that I had been doing, cutting the leaves. But I guess despite all signs to the contrary, Toño believed that I was ready for a new challenge. While I do the hardest part of the harvest, let's talk about the hardest part of the tequila business. Tequila has seen a rapid rise in popularity in recent years. Sales more than tripled in 20 years. This rocks. This is not the hard part yet. Tequila has the very unique challenge that agave takes a minimum of 6 years to grow, and for some types, it's more than 10 years. Here's the hard part. This is the graph of agave prices. So how are tequila brands, planting here, supposed to predict the crashing price of agave here? It's the most dramatic, slow-moving bubble ever as they all invest and plant their agaves, and then they have to sit for 6 years with their hands tied while anything could happen in the market. As far as alternative investments go, I mean, it's pretty high maintenance. Before we moved on, Tonya wanted me to taste the raw agave.
It's like wood.
It was pretty gross. Finally, an easy part, it was time for a mid-morning break with breakfast in the field. All the jimadors bring something for themselves or to share, and everything is cooked over a flame. It was all simple and practical. Tacos with cheese, beans, or chicken, roasted chiles and salsa if you wanted them. Carbs, some protein, and a little spice. I even got some extra minerals from the rust of the makeshift grill sticking to the tortilla. Perfect.
Uber, I think we should start doing this at the office.
This is the guy's main break of the day, so they shoot the shit and enjoy the time they have to rest. Now that we were properly fueled up, it was time to get back to work. We throw all the piñas onto this tractor, which loads them into 20-ton trucks that go to the distillery. Each morning, the distillery tells the jimadors how much agave to harvest. It's based on kilos, so me doing all the tiny ones isn't super helpful.
So this field has 45,000 agave plants,
Yeah.
which makes 160,000 liters of tequila.
Yeah. White tequila, Cuervo. Yeah.
That's a lot.
This is Cristobal, head of agriculture operations and the perfect person to explain how on earth Cuervo deals with the uncertainty of this industry.
Tequila has had crazy growth as an industry. How can you predict that?
Well, we normally miss the number.
Cuervo has modernized so much of their operation, so I wondered why the job and tools of the jimador have remained the same for hundreds of years.
We try to make their life easier. We have conversations in regards to the tool they're using. If they see an improvement, we'll take it and then spread it into the industry. We have the best genetics to grow the most sugars at the fastest speed. But once you get into farming, real farming on the plot, we do have tractors and so on. We try to adapt to new technologies. So all of our plants are inventory with drones. We track growth as well with IT, and then we do the math and we make the numbers of how the yield is coming, the performance of the crop is coming. So all of those tools are, let's say, a leap forward. But then as well, we need to rely on their job and trying to help them on the tools they do, hand tools as well.
This mix of art and science, modernity and tradition comes up a lot in the tequila business. I wanted to hear Cristobal's thoughts on the bubble and how it happened in the first place.
There are other independent growers who basically jump on the hype of the price. All of farming belongs to farmers. Doesn't belong to lawyers, doesn't belong to doctors. So if you're a farmer, an agave farmer, you know how the cycle works. If you're a doctor, you're probably better off in a hospital rather than trying to predict the next cycle of agave. Normally, those are the guys who blew it out.
The field next to us is a great way to visualize the bubble. It's overgrown and abandoned.
Whomever owns that plot will not invest money on de-weeding, monitoring pests and disease and so on.
Having a neglected farm right next to yours means their pest problems could become your pest problems, and if that happens, it could wipe out the whole crop.
How long ago was this field planted? How old are those agaves?
They're probably the same age as these ones, probably.
So yeah, like 3-4 years ago.
3 or 4 years, yeah. It's a bubble.
I don't know if you've noticed, but my new thing lately is tricking my job into sending me on vacation. It absolutely rocks. If you also want to go on vacation all the time, but your job isn't just field trip like mine, then you should use Axel to save money on travel. Axel's like a digital travel agent that saves you money. They have special savings for hotels booked through them, and they monitor the price of your flights and hotels no matter where you booked to make sure you got the best deals on those too. If the price of your flight went down after you booked it, then Axel automatically handles the rebooking and gets you credits back. It's just $35 a year to sign up, and users save an average of $300 a year. Sign up today and maybe we'll run into each other on one of my next trips. Now back to Mexico. The first trucks of the day were loaded up, and it was time to head to the distillery, and time for me to transform into that woman from the Honey Bunches of Oats commercial. As the piñas come into the facility, about 10 from each truckload are taken as a representative sample to be quality tested. The sample piñas are loaded into this machine, which cuts them in a few different areas to get a sample of the whole plant. Then it'll be tested for the carbohydrate content, which is what becomes the alcohol in the fermentation process. This dust and pulp they've cut off the piñas will now be sent along for testing. They're testing for inulin, which is a complex carbohydrate in agave. Inulin is broken down into simple sugars for fermentation, so if there's not enough of it, the agave won't ferment correctly into high-quality tequila. Now it was my turn to become a scientist.
We in the lab.
I started by measuring out some of the fiber we cut off the sample piñas, mixing it with water, and blending.
This is the most insane day of my life. 66. I love doing math in Spanish. I'm trying to get real precise. Oh, we're so close. I'm picking out individual fibers that I think weigh 0.03. No. Whoa, yes! So there's fibers that we wanted to stop from going inside the cup, which is why I've strained it.
And now for the most mind-blowing part of my entire day. I fill a 1.5 milliliter container with like 5 drops of this liquid I just made. That means from this entire 20-ton truck of agave, about 10 agaves are taken, and then some pulp is shaved off of each of those. Then I take 66.66 grams of that, which I mix with water, to become 1.5 milliliters of this solution.
That entire truck we base on this much.
And then that 1.5 milliliters is tested for its carbohydrate content. And this process is precise enough that that 1.5 milliliters is a true representative sample of the whole 20-ton truck. And I really just feel like the spring breakers descending upon Mexico every year aren't appreciating this when they're taking their tequila shots.
Who knew tequila had so many spreadsheets?
That test result data joins the 6 years of data that they already have on this field, like those once every 2-week field reports that we talked about earlier. All the data is nice and organized in their system. So if the sample doesn't have the required level of carbohydrates, they can go back and see if that field had other problems along the way that might have caused that. Now with a good test result from the lab, the piñas are sent along for the next step, where they're cut in half to prepare for the ovens. I, of course, wanted to swing an axe around too.
I feel like, who's the woman that killed her whole family with an axe? Incredible. Lizzie Borden. That's who it was.
Now the agave heads to the ovens.
Am I gonna, whoa! What's that about?
This guy comes like once a month to take care of all the birds that come and feed on the agave.
You have a falconer on staff? That's crazy.
The piñas cook for about 2 days at 160 degrees. Cooking softens the agave and also brings out much sweeter flavors.
That's really good.
The guy leading me around is Alex, master distiller at Cuervo. He's been working here for nearly 30 years.
Here, depending on the recipe, if you cook the carbohydrate, you may overcook a little bit to caramelize. So depending on your cooking recipe, it's about converting into fermentable sugars and generating other flavor compounds.
Very cool.
Okay? And you will see the next process is to mill it.
This is the most water-intensive part of the process, as they break apart the fibers and separate out the sugars. For every liter of tequila, it takes an average of 14.9 liters of water to produce it. This doesn't include water used to grow the agave plant, since, again, that only needs rainwater, nothing extra.
This extracts all the juice and the sugars from the fiber, and then that liquid goes to the tanks to ferment, and the fiber goes in trucks to be compost.
Exactly. Correct.
Cool.
You have it.
Okay.
The idea is, even in your fingers, they're not so sticky.
It's not sticky anymore. Yeah, all the sugar's gone.
All the sugar's gone. Of course, it's got some humidity.
Yeah.
But this goes back to the field.
Now that sugar water comes here, to the fermentation tank. They add their proprietary yeast, and 60 hours later, the yeast has turned all of that sugar into alcohol. At this stage, it's about as strong as beer, and it's called mosto.
Nailed it. So what is this measuring?
Bricks.
Bricks.
Which is the solids in the mash. The yeast has eaten all the sugars, and now it's got alcohol.
That's what we want.
Exactly. So you can try it. It's bitter.
It's not as sweet as cooked agave anymore.
No. It's already a little bit like an IPA.
Yeah, it's like an IPA.
All right.
I'm the ultimate IPA bro.
Now the mosto moves to distillation tanks for 2 rounds of distilling.
Io? Vale. Okay, they're letting me do levers. They didn't tell me what the levers do, they just said do them. Así? Nailed it.
Distillation is awesome and scary. The mosto is heated until it's a vapor. The first part that vaporizes is called the heads. It's made of potent, lower quality compounds like methanol and acetone, so it's just discarded. The next part to vaporize is the good stuff, the hearts. This gets captured and cooled back into a liquid. The The final part to vaporize is the tails, which is also discarded because it's too oily and heavy. What I was doing with these levers, unbeknownst to me, was moving the pipes around to route the heads away to a different tank. Then it was time for some more measuring to see how our distillation was going. At this point, the liquid should be about 60% alcohol.
120 Good.
It's not good.
It's strong.
It's like poison.
It's 110 proof. No?
110 proof?
Yes, 59%
Yeah.
alcohol by volume times 2 is the proof. So it's 120.
120 proof.
Yeah.
Yum. So this would certainly kill me. If I drank that much of 140 proof tequila, it's over. That's it.
From here, the liquid is diluted back into bottle strength, which is about 40% alcohol by volume, using demineralized water. And now we finally have something that can be called tequila. If it's a blanco, then it goes straight from here to bottling, but we are going to make an aged version. So it's time to put this in barrels. Many tequila brands use different woods for different purposes in aging, and Cuervo even experiments with reusing barrels from other spirits to add different flavors.
We've been, I would say, playing. I think that's a little bit of the art side to get more and more flavors and have different sensory profiles.
It was time to see the most important room at the company.
That's just so many barrels.
Just when I thought this business couldn't have any more hilarious quirks, I learned about the angel's share. Because Mexico is so hot and dry, they lose 8% of their tequila a year that just evaporates. It's just gone. They call this the angel's share. They try to mitigate this a bit by keeping the inside of the warehouse humid, but the angels are still getting a good amount. This also affects how much agave they ask the fields for each day. Alex knows if he's making an extra añejo, for example, that's aged 3 years. He'll lose a significant portion of tequila over that time, so he has to start with nearly 25% more than what he wants to end up with.
One of the pillars is our innovation in maturation. So this is the most value inventory of the company.
Yeah.
Because here you have 6 years of agave, plus the tequila process, plus the maturation. So everything is inside the barrel.
So now, it was time to fill up some barrels and seal them for aging with this special label that confirms their quality.
287 bottles of tequila in here.
Cada barril.
It's a lot of them. New Year's 2027. Somebody is going to be ringing it in with this.
And now, with a little movie magic, my tequila has aged 3 years and is ready for bottling. This is obviously not how things are bottled industrially, but it's more fun to watch this way.
You're okay, you're okay.
Oh, wrong way.
You're gonna have to drink out of it though. You have to drink all of that tequila, all the way up to right here.
No. I feel like I do have to drink it down. It's my fault. I filled it up too much. Okay. I did it. It's really good. It's just you shouldn't drink it like that. I'm not making it to dinner.
Go ahead and take it off. It's perfect.
Ooh, perfect stamp.
Perfect stamp.
If I didn't get a perfect stamp, the whole day would have been ruined. I love arts and crafts, so this is perfect actually. I was hoping there would be a crafts portion.
As I put the finishing touches on my bottle, I thought through all the work I'd done today and all the people along the way who made it happen. Harvesting and hauling agave with the jimadors, testing the agave in the lab, seeing that falcon, pulling so many levers, accidentally getting drunk. I stumbled into the sunset with a newfound appreciation for tequila. Every bottle that you see at the liquor store represents years of work by so many skilled people, plus, sometimes, one day of work by me.
Do you want to drive a vehicle?
Absolutely, I'm gonna drive a vehicle.
Okay. Do you know how to drive a tractor?
Probably.
Okay.
I know how to drive a car.
Well,
¿Verdad?
We'll see how similar it is.
left.
Is the
Always the
clutch.
clutch?
Yep,
Okay. Right. Gas. and
Yeah.
Brakes.
great.
Okay.
This is so ridiculous. Oh my god, this is so ridiculous.